So the only way for me to know if the changes I have made any difference is to go live again, and it doesn't make any sense to wait until Sunday. So again, I can see myself. Okay. I just don't, it's not updating on the YouTube end, so I don't know. So, okay. Connect streaming software to go live. Okay, I did do that. Oh, you can see me. Am I delayed? Is there any kind of insane delay between what I'm saying and when it's showing up on the screen? Slight delay between video and audio. Well, that's still kind of unexpected. Okay, did it work for me to change to the other scene and then back? Like, did that do a thing? Did it switch back to the starting stream and then back? Audio and video seem out of sync. Okay. Well, if it's tolerable, we'll still sit here and chat for a little while. Frozen now? Oh, okay, so changing scenes froze it. Okay. So, yeah, this is like a critical failure with Streamlabs where, like, I guess if I had tried... Okay, so yes, changing scenes and back worked, but am I frozen now? And it didn't switch for some people. Okay. Well, if I can stay on this screen and it's like close enough, I will sit here for like at least an hour. Because, yeah, I just feel bad not streaming. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, everybody. This has been probably more of a setback than it should have been. I'm just not having a great day. Okay. Okay. So, okay, so I see now that it did switch to the other scene, and now it's back. Okay, okay. So I reinstalled Streamlabs, and then I restarted my computer. And I kind of feel like that should be sufficient. Like, I guess maybe Streamlabs needs to update. That might be the case. Your video is like you're in slow motion or underwater, but your audio is fine. Cool. Well, that's what matters. Thank you to Drea earlier for the donation. I guess I will put in the Discord that I am actually still out of sync. Yes, thank you. You know, guys, if you look in the chat and you see that like 5 other people have already said that the audio and video are out of sync, I promise you, you don't need to say it. I don't know how to tell you how fucking irritating that is. Like, okay, cool. I'm assuming that it is not back in sync yet. So again, like I'm hoping to just sit here and chill for a little while. Video is good now. Okay, thank you, Calacia. Okay, cool. So any of the things that I was thinking about talking about this week. Oh yeah. So first of all, just I'm tired. That's the main reason why I'm struggling so much. I did not sleep well the last couple nights. I am dealing with some things in my personal situation, and it's not great. So, okay, thank you for Puggles earlier, and thank you to Drea for the donations. I am going to update my stream donations goal so that that is reflected. Okay, great. I can hear that my computer is like not doing a great job. Like I can hear it's like wheezing. Yes, hugs everyone. Someone said something earlier about a press release. Life is a lot lately. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, okay, let me just give you like the short version. My country is falling into fascism. I'm worried that I'm going to be arrested for saying obvious normal things that people have been saying about the United States for longer than I have been alive. I am trying to raise my younger sibling who is trying their best, and I still find myself feeling some frustration and difficulty because I suddenly became a parent to a teenager in my 30s. Um, and my partner and I are super not on the same page with how to communicate through conflict. So basically, everything in my life, except for like my relationship with my cat, is terrible. Shooing away the stream bugs. Thank you, Mira, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. 34 viewers, 16 likes. Can we get some more likes? Yes, I am aware that the desync is still present. Thank you for telling me the same thing everybody is telling me. I know that this stuff is not synced up. Thank you. I am going to go ahead and sit here and talk anyway because I feel obligated to sit here and talk for a little while at least. So I'm assuming that what's happened is that Streamlabs needs to update itself, or maybe Windows needs to update itself or something. That's, when I first, guys, so earlier when the first crash happened, it said Streamlabs has had a critical failure. Like I ended the stream and I think I went to close Streamlabs, or maybe just ending the stream. It popped up a thing that said like Streamlabs has encountered a critical error. And then initially I hit the button that was like, okay, go ahead and send in the information about the crash. But that took for fucking ever. And I was like trying to start the stream up again. And so I ended up stopping it from doing that because it took forever, and then starting it up again. And then like I went ahead and I uninstalled, reinstalled, restarted my computer. And this is still where we are at. So Streamlabs has a problem. Yeah, to fix Streamlabs, we need to remove the tariffs. Oh yeah, I saw the thing about the UK. I'm going to cover that on Sunday stream. That's pretty fucked up. My theory is Streamlabs is straight, so doesn't know how to behave. True. I don't even want it synced up. This is poetic to the mood of reality. True. Okay, so we're at $26 for donations today. Thank you, even though I am just in a piss mood. Thank you, people, for still being here to hang out with me and for being supportive. Generally speaking, it does help a little bit. It does help a little bit. And like, dude, I'm even sitting today. Like, I'm like the whole frame of the stream is different because I'm sitting. Because I'm fucking tired. Anti-LGBTQ news out of Hungary. Oh, I haven't heard of what was happening in Hungary. I did not know about that. Yes, hi, Nikki. Thank you, everybody. We're just gonna chill. I mean, I don't even know how long the stream is gonna be now. I was originally planning on going to 6. Let's see how much energy we can maintain for that. I kind of just wanted to shoot the shit about whatever today. Oh my god, I have to get water. Sorry, hit the like button while I'm gone. I'm just gonna grab some water real fast. Okay, I have water. Everything's okay now. Hungary is bad. Can someone at least post up a link in the Discord so that I know what's going on? Because I genuinely haven't seen any news about Hungary, even though I have been on Blue Sky, even though I'm not supposed to be on Blue Sky on the days where I'm not looking at political stuff. It's probably part of why I feel bad, Like, let me be an example of what happens when you don't use your time wisely by getting off the internet. I got my cider batch got decanted today. Ooh, that's nice. I drank some flavored apple wine last night. One of them was strawberry flavored, and the other one was like pineapple margarita flavored. So it was like pineapple and key lime. Thorn Among Roses, thank you for the $10 super chat.
Yeah.
Says just thank you for being here. Y'all in chat too. Yeah, if nothing else, I do feel somewhat of a compulsion to be present because I know that everything sucks. And I know that like this is supposed to be the chill stream. This is supposed to be the positive show. And like you guys hang out here because you get something out of it in that way. So that is definitely part of the feeling of obligation. Hungary passed a law banning LGBTQ plus public events. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, Shakespeare. Appreciate that. I will take a look at it and probably cover it. Bean Cream Tween says, you're in a piss mood? Well, I guess it's good we're an audience that likes to be pissed on. Yeah. You know, my granddad always said it's better to be pissed off than pissed on. That's actually not true. A guy I used to work for would say that. I just think that the framework of like my granddad used to say is funny. I think they banned Pride. Cool. Yeah. So we're going to just ignore that for today. And I'm going to talk to you about whatever I'm interested in and whatever I feel like talking about. And some of what I feel like talking about is like I have been working on some hobby stuff. I feel like for a good chill stream is Lux chatting and doing crochet. Yeah, I don't have any active crochet projects right now. I started working on something for my partner, but then like it's a lot warmer now. I was going to make him like a little neck warmer thing because during the wintertime his office is like cold in the morning. But now we are fighting. And also it's not cold in the morning anymore. So I am not in the middle of any crochet projects right now, which is so sad. Meowdy, yes, Gayfesh, we're back. With audio fully not synced. I'm aware. I'm hoping like by Sunday Streamlabs has a push fix for whatever this is, or yeah, maybe I'll like take a little bit longer, you know, like Streamlabs frozen between scenes. Maybe that is what I will look up. It's like a similar issue has arisen for people before, so I'll look into it. It's not even about the positive show for me. I just always look forward to you in whatever capacity. Your voice and style in any context help pull me out of the darkness. Well, I'm really glad to hear that. And I am considering moving away from this as my career. But I think even if I move away from this as my career, I will still stream for fun sometimes. But I can't tell you how like emotionally difficult it is, and also like from a material standpoint difficult to deal with the fact that I make like only a little bit more than what someone would make on like not like minimum wage exactly. Like for your frame of reference, when I filed my taxes this year, I had about $18,000 in reportable income and I owed $3,000. So yeah, at least in Oregon, there's no sub minimum wage. I do feel better about that. You know, it's like if I order pizza and I'm having it delivered like by the pizza place itself, not through DoorDash or something, I'm like, at least I know this person is still making $15 an hour. Because that was, oh my God, dude, I can't even tell you, like, the minimum wage in Kansas was $7.25. It still is. I worked at a pizza place, and so I'm only making $7.25 when I'm working in the store, like if I'm helping make the pizzas or I'm boxing stuff up or whatever. And then when you go out to go deliver the pizza, it's down to like $4 an hour or something. So it's like you're making $4 an hour and you are reliant on the tips to make up for it. So I'm like, yeah. Now that I'm here, I tip closer to like 15% rather than like 25%, because I'm like, you are still getting paid a decent wage. And that it feels good, at least, to know that the workers around me are being paid an appropriate amount of money. You know, we can debate maybe $15 isn't a living wage here because the cost of living is higher, you know, obviously, but it is still objectively better than only making 7.20 fucking 5 per hour. It's crazy. Or making less than that, you know. Hey, Shakespeare, that's great. I produced my first all trans event last Friday. It turned out absolutely magical. The educational seminar was a huge hit. That's so great. I love to hear that. I'm glad that that worked out. I have still not gone to any trans specific events here. I thought you went to go do something. Yeah, Sophie, so the problem is that if I try to fix something on Streamlabs, that it obviously, like, I can't tell whether the changes I made worked unless I try to go live. So I was like, okay, I'll try to go live. I'll just see. So yes, I'm still dealing with like some kind of technical issue is going on. I will probably need to continue troubleshooting it later, but I do want to be present for at least a little bit. So yeah, sorry, it's out of sync. I know. I'm gonna do my best to get it figured out. Hopefully before Sunday. I'm assuming I will not run into any problems when I get on for Takis tomorrow, because it's a totally different program and everything, and it mostly just needs to use my camera. So I will go ahead and, you know, I'll just work on this a little bit more, and we might even do a little, we might even try a little tiny, stream on Saturday or something, just to like check and see if there's anything. Like check and see if it is still having a difficult time. You got to get out and find your local community. It is super important. Well, so part of the problem is that I don't have a car right now. My partner is using my car every single day to go to work, so I can't go anywhere until he is here. We do have a pretty decent public transit. I just haven't taught myself how to use it yet. I'm considering getting a bicycle, but and you know, like trying to make sure I have the energy for stuff. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Fesh. Oh, Mira, I love to hear that. Mira says, I got enrolled for the summer into a reopened Intro to Robotics course. Hopefully it'll be the distraction I need over the summer, along with finishing a lab I need. Yeah, so I am not ready to really like discuss it in any kind of detail, but there is a possibility that college will be a thing that I do. A bike is amazing, amazing. Wish I could store one of those. So I brought this up to my partner, and he basically immediately went to like, oh, I'm thinking of getting a bike too, but I want to get one of the ones that like folds up. So if it like folds up, you can kind of put it wherever. I know that people kind of have their hot opinions about foldable bikes, but you know, just for your frame of reference. Well, I don't know. I can't change scenes to show you, I guess. I had issues with being out of sync when I streamed on Twitch, and it turned out it was due to the audio interface being a bad model that was recalled, so I bought a new one, but it took forever to figure out. None of the solutions chatters gave was the issue. It's so hard to figure out that type of stuff sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. I love your username, but I always feel weird, like, I guess I can just call you Economist. I'm not gonna, it's like, it's weird for me to call you Young Black Economist. I just feels strange. Economist, you're right. My audio interface is the worst piece of equipment that I have. It has never caused this big of an issue with Streamlabs, so I'm hesitant to think that that is the problem, but maybe. Foldable bikes tend to be low quality construction and IDK of any battery assist foldable bike. Okay, fair. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're not like the most sturdy. People say foldable bikes because they tend to have really small tires. They tend to be best for like really smooth rides. And yeah, I don't know if any of them have any battery assistance. That is not something I'm interested in. So none of the bikes that I've looked at are electric bikes. I just want like a bike with gears. Not a Walmart special then? I don't know. I haven't actually gone looking. There are some bike stores where they can size you for a bike. And so I was kind of thinking of doing that before my partner brought up the whole streamers call me YBE. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Or just economist. Yeah. Perfect. I'm sorry, Noah. I'm sorry. I felt obligated to at least try to show up even though the audio is not synced up with the video. I'm sorry. Technical difficulties. Such a pain in the ass. Thankfully, most bikes have gears, so the bar is low. Yo, I was looking on Facebook Marketplace, though, and so many of the bikes are 1-speed. I'm like, why? I guess that's why they're getting rid of them, right? Mira says, as a disabled mountain biker, I got an electric pedal assist mountain bike. No, you are not at all likely to find one that is foldable, though. I got mine from a dedicated bike store, and I love it. Nice. Yeah. I just would like to have a little bit more flexibility to go places. But my partner pointed out, you know, let's say you ride your bike to the grocery store. Even the amount of time that it takes you to be in the grocery store, people will steal your bike outside. And, like, it doesn't matter how securely you affix it, because people will just, you know, really quick cut it and steal your shit. So that's what the benefit of the folding bike is. You know, it's like, it's not a huge... you know, I would not want to take it mountain biking, and it's very limited in some ways, and they tend to be small, but the difference is having a bike or having your shit stolen, I think, is kind of the mindset that my partner has about that. So I understand that. I can respect that. People steal bikes. Like, I get it. I have owned 2 bikes in my life, and they were both stolen. So, you know. Noah, thank you. Tier 1 sub for Noah. Awesome. Why are you discriminating against 1-speed bikes? They have gears. Listen. There are a lot of hills. Okay? There are good locks, though. I mean, yeah, like, people will find a way around it. And if it's a white person, then they could totally... Have you guys seen that video? It's like a video of a... hold on. Sorry. Why don't I just make an overlay here? I'm just going to make an overlay. Sorry for the desync. I'm just going to put that in giant letters all over the screen. Sorry for the desync. Hold on, come here. Why are you locked in place? Why? Come here. Sorry for the desync. There, it's just gonna be right there so that everybody knows that I know that there's a problem. Everybody knows that I know. Hills, that's what battery assist is for. Yeah, I guess, like, yeah, I mean, that's totally fine for someone else. I just want a bike that I can ride that has gears that enable you to still use your own body. I don't want a battery assisted bike. Thank you, Noah. Let me add that to the stream goal for today. That brings us up to $41 for a stream in which I have a lot of technical difficulties. Dude, I was trying to sing yesterday in falsetto, and my voice was straight up like... It just wasn't doing anything. It was crazy. My bike was stolen my first year of grad school. My wife found it the next day at a flea market. We had the serial number recorded, and I keep my contact info on a piece of paper in the handlebars, so it was easy enough to prove it was mine. Luckiest shit ever. Oh my god, that's crazy. I keep all sorts of gaudy stickers on it to make it at least more painful to resell if anybody tries to nab it again. Yeah, and I was, like, looking on... I think it was Kitty Tick who mentioned, you know... before I moved, she was like, oh, once you move up here, it should be really easy for you to find a bike because... there's so many people who are always buying new bikes and new equipment here, so you should be able to find something really easy. But I'm like, I know that bikes, it matters how big the bike is based on like your how long your legs are and how tall you are. Like that's two different measurements. It's the your inseam measurement and your height. And then I would prefer to have a bike where I can be more upright and not like leaning over because of my heart problem. Um so those are kind of my thoughts about what kind of bike I want. And then yeah, I guess just like how do you prevent it from getting stolen if you go anywhere that you're gonna be parking it? Like if I go anywhere and I'm like I'm gonna walk into the store. Oh man, Bean says I used a bike a lot between 2007 to 2013 and I never had anything stolen. I did have a car window broken through. Damn, that's stupid. Bikes can really suck for tall people. Yeah. Does MTB, is that just mountain bike? Mountain bike? What is MTB? I have a 21 speed I'm not using in Florida. Yeah. Yeah, let me just drive on over and grab that from you. MTB is mountain bike. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you can see how much of a beginner I am. I haven't owned a bike since, like, okay, I had a bike when I was a kid, and then that got stolen, and I didn't have a bike again for a long time. And then I got a bike again when I was like 18, but it got stolen, and I really, like, almost never used it. Or, like, I hadn't had much opportunity to use it before it got stolen, I think is what I'm trying to say. Before you buy a bike lock, make sure you check out the lockpicking lawyer. So I think that it might be my husband watching the lockpicking lawyer and just other content that probably makes him think there is no point to getting a bike that has to be locked up, period. Like, I think that is kind of what is going on. MTB is magic, the bike. True. Could always make your own lock with a chain wrapped in old tire tube with a heavy duty padlock. I guess that's true. I'm like, once my partner has a vehicle, which it's probably going to be a couple of months before he starts really seriously looking for a vehicle. But then I'll have my car back, and so I won't really need a bike at that point. I still want a bike, but obviously it's the feeling of being fucking trapped at home all day that is making me feel like I want a bike. I trust the hard bar bike locks if I'm just going into a store or something, but if I'm biking all the way to work, I will take it up inside to my office. If it's sitting there for hours and hours, I don't trust it being in that garage for so long. Totally. Yeah. No security feature is foolproof. It's about making it not worth the effort. Yeah. Oh, but I was gonna say there is. I've seen this video of like a bike was like locked to a post in a park, and they did it deliberately. They locked it there on purpose, and they had a black kid come and say like, "Oh, this is." He was trying to get it off of there. It was there for the social experiment, right? So they're creating social experiment conditions to see how people respond in that situation. So they had a bike that was locked to a post, and they had a black kid come up and say, when people would ask, why are you trying to get that bike out of there? They would be like, oh, this is my bike. I just lost the key. And people were like calling the police and stuff on the kid. But then there was a white kid, like a white guy that they had trying to get rid of the bike lock. And people would come up and be like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, this bike has just been abandoned here for like a couple weeks. And so I'm just going to take it. And people like helped him. People were like, oh, cool. Yeah, no, that's a great idea. It's fucking crazy though. Stuff like that. And there definitely are like a ton of homeless people in the Portland area. So I could see there being like even more concern that there may be more people who have more reason to steal your shit in a place where people are in a desperate economic situations. I think I saw this video when I was an undergrad. Yeah. My dad has a thing to raise his handlebars and move them back a bit, helps him ride in a more upright position for his neck issues. It's like an adjustable arm that goes between the handlebars and the frame. I guess one good thing about the collapsible bikes is that kind of by default, they can adjust to the height of the handlebars and the seat. There are some bike shops that will let you learn and work on bikes, and in exchange, they will let you have spare parts to assemble your own. Cool. I'm probably not going to do that, but, you know. Byron also says, my bike was locked when it was stolen, FYI. People can just get master keys for bike locks. Totally. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think if I were to get a bike lock, I would probably not get one that is advertised as a bike lock because they suck. I would probably get like a much more secure lock and just use it for the bike. Oh, no, it's okay, Dally. We started the stream late, and then there were a bunch of technical issues that made the stream start even later. And we revealed the depths of how emotionally vulnerable I am right now by me running into the world's smallest hurdle and wanting to die. I don't actually want to die. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I'm not actually suicidal. I just want to bash my head against the wall. It's different. Those are different impulses somehow. Rendering out the latest podcast episode. Yeah! Woo! I'm excited. You guys, when the podcast, I think that like, I don't know if I can keep up with like posting the podcasts every week as they come out. I've been really bad about that. But at the very minimum, when the next episode of the podcast comes out, the Many Worlds Hypothesis, where currently we're talking about Star Wars Andor, I will post a link and like you all should listen to all of it. We have an entire like 7 episodes about Marvel movies. Like we followed Steve Rogers through the Marvel movies. Okay. And we just talk about Star Wars Andor, and the last episode's going to come out soon. And then we're going to talk about the Star Trek movies from the original series, Star Trek movies. Oh, Fesh, do you think that I need to refresh myself on the original series as part of watching the movies? Because I was talking to my partner about this, and he was like, well, I would feel like I would need to watch the entire TOS again. And I was like, that seems like something I don't need to do because my podcast co-host has an encyclopedic knowledge of everything Star Trek. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, I have watched it all the way through like twice, and we're just focusing on the movies, and they're gonna be related to the show in a way, obviously. But I was like, I shouldn't need to. That's an incredible time commitment for me to just watch all of TOS in 2 weeks and the movie. Oh man, cool. Okay, good to know. Oh. J-Lock says self-harm as a self-regulation is like my top tier, least healthy autistic trait. I relate so hard. Yeah. I would recommend watching Space Seed before watching Wrath of Khan because that's the episode it's a sequel to, but other than that, no, you're good. Okay, cool. So yeah, when the time comes, I will rewatch that episode. Yeah. I feel like the original series was more divorced from the movies than the TNG movies and shows. Yeah, totally. Because didn't all the movies happen after the show? Whereas, like, the movies for TNG were more concurrent or interspersed or whatever. I just realized it's Wednesday and chill day because the title made me think about politics. Yeah. Refuse the news. We're not doing it today. And, like, I want to teach my younger sibling to ride a bike. So I think that, you know, getting a bike that would fit both of us could be useful. The TNG movies were also after the TNG show was done. Okay, cool. Yeah. I just don't know a lot about the history of this stuff. I was validated. Oh my god, you guys. Okay, so you know how I have my little dragon series that I'm working on the other channel, Musing Moss. I started working on that video again this week. I have edited it down in the sense of like everything that I have said in the video has been edited to be appropriately paced. But now I need to just splice in the appropriate frickin' Jiminy Christmas, dude. The clips from the movie. I just have to do all that, which is to say, most of the editing is still ahead of me. But I'm subscribed to this other channel called Glidus, and he just posted a video this week that was basically like, how many legs should a dragon have? And he went through the historical representations of dragons throughout European heraldry. He kind of focused on the Western depictions of dragons, since that seems to be where the contention lies. Like, there's no dragon versus wyvern distinction in Asiatic dragons. So, dude, how far off is the sync? Forever ago, I put up a note that says sorry for the desync, and it just isn't there. I'm gonna scream. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. Dragon should have 8 legs. But basically, Glidus went through and showed, like, okay, the St. George's slaying of the dragon is a piece of art. It's like a quote-unquote event that has been depicted in art throughout multiple centuries, throughout multiple different countries, and there are, heraldic representations. The chat command I made literally just popped up for the first time. Okay, great. Good to know that it is massively... The video is getting more and more out of sync over time. Great. I want to kill myself. Oh, no. Yeah, see, the problem with having been suicidal for such a long time in my life is that sometimes when you are facing problems that you don't understand how to come to solutions over, your brain just kind of defaults back to, like, what if we died? A 20-minute desync. Great. That's awesome. Concept. Scented dragon. Cool. Well, for the most part, I'm just sitting still, so please no self-harm. Yeah, no, I shouldn't joke. I shouldn't joke about that. It is a joke, to be clear. But anyway, so throughout the historical representations of dragons in European art, there are dragons with 4 legs, there are dragons with 2 legs, there are dragons with no legs occasionally. There are dragons with big, huge, swinging ball sacks. It's crazy. Oh yeah, I've been told that Astoria is a good place to visit. It's on the list. My good friend told me, my good friend Silent told me that I should go visit Astoria. There's all kinds of places on the list. I need to get some things about my car fixed before I take any more trips, but yeah, I want to go to Astoria. I want to go to Multnomah Falls. I want to go to Newport. Like, I want to visit a whole bunch of different places along the coast. There's all kinds of hiking trails I keep getting advertised on, like, Facebook. They filmed Goonies. Oh, in Astoria? Oh, that's wonderful. I love that. My work wants me to put when I first had my condition of suicidal ideation. That sounds like something you should never have to discuss at work. That sounds like you want me to go to HR right now. What the fuck? Okay, anyway. And there is, there's so much to do, and I have so much time. I feel like I do have plenty of time. You know, like, I want to go to Seattle. There's places near Seattle I want to see. There's all kinds of beautiful places. My friend Silent wants to take me to a waterfall. My friend Dizzy was like, hey, there's a bunch of botanical gardens I want to take you to. Don't forget Silver Falls State Park. Where is that one? Silver Falls. Oh. Okay, chat reconnected. Okay, great. I'm sorry, everybody who's just coming in for the desync. I know that it's desynced. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it right now. We're just kind of trying to chat and enjoy ourselves regardless. So, sorry. Whitewater rafting down the Mackenzie River is a lot of fun. I'm never going to be a kayaking person. I think that I have a healthy fear and respect for the water that would prevent me from ever going whitewater rafting or kayaking or anything. We got to hit up a good park on Puget Sound. Yes. Okay, where is Silver Falls? Silver Falls State Park. Give me a map. I'm the map, 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 I'm the map. Yay! Oh, cool. Oh, wow. If you look at Silver Falls State Park on like a Google Maps, it's so densely dark green there. It's crazy. Like, even considering that, like, it's like in the Cascades. It's like on the western edge of the Cascades, right? And it is like, even with all this, really dark green foresty areas, like Silver Falls State Park is uniquely super duper dark and dense. That's fascinating. Wow. Okay. Have you ever climbed a mountain? No, but I want to. I'm basically like working on my health to get to a point where I can go hiking. That's my plan. They discussed it with HR because they wrote me up for me using my phone too much, and I'm pretty sure one of those days I was really feeling it, so I was just brutally honest with them and can't work until I get some confusing ass paper done. Well, that honestly was a bad choice. I've done that before, where I have disclosed to an employer that I was feeling suicidal, and it turns your entire work situation into a nightmare. Don't ever tell them. Don't ever tell your boss anything like that, ever, 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 ever. My advice to you. You have to hit up Silver Falls in the spring/early summer because the waterfalls will stop flowing toward midsummer and fall sometimes. Oh, weird. Interesting. Did you know that deer will shake their heads violently and bash their heads against trees when they are stressed? I did not know that. Yeah, there is something very satisfying about the idea of bashing your head into the wall. I don't know. It's just sometimes it's like that would be so cathartic. That would be so I would feel so much better, Although you would not feel better. You would definitely feel worse. I was getting so sick of them writing me up. Like, I don't want to hate this job either. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like, yeah, if you have your phone out all the time, you will definitely, understandably, get in trouble. A concussion would fix me. A concussion and then like a 6-week coma, I think would hit the spot. What's the hike in Mount Hood, the beginner one? Sugar Bowl Creek or something? Takes you a ways up the mountain, but not far. Or up the volcano. Yeah, there are. Yeah, these are all volcanoes. Yeah, what was this one called Cascade Head was just recommended to me on Facebook. I get them on Instagram too. It'll recommend like different trails and stuff. The hike from my dorm room to the peak of the mountain and back in South Korea was about 12 kilometers. Did it once each day of the same weekend and loved it. Hell yeah. Droning Goddess says, nope, bosses don't need to know that about you. It's like only half a step back from telling that to a doctor or nurse and getting a grippy sock vacation. True. Gorge. And I'm also not like really all that interested in mountain biking. I want a bike mostly to get around town, but I want to hike like I do. Oh, shit, I can't show you guys anything. Dude, that sucks. That's stupid. I wanted to show you the ferrule that I just got for my staff so that I can give it a little hiking spike in the bottom, but I can't show you anything. God, that's stupid. We'll see what we can do about fixing this later. Blah. Mountain biking is utterly exhausting. Oh, I bet. I bet it's a huge amount of work. Someone is suggesting that the Streamlabs problem might be that there are assets that don't have a box checked that says close when the scene is not visible. I don't think that's really relevant here. Like, what? Hold on. I'm going to type something else. Super long hold on. Desync Streamlabs OBS. I put some mushies I found in Feed the Dragon. Foraging season has begun. Yes! I suspect that the reason the scene didn't change in the first stream was actually the AV desync. I suspect if you had gone on long enough, you would have popped up. Yeah, totally. Okay, so so now that I know that the desync is the main problem, I should be able to fix this. Audio sync issues, like, hold on, how about Streamlabs video? The video is the part that is slowing down and is desynced. Video desync. And it's like getting more and more out of sync the longer it goes. I don't suppose my fucking camera had an update that it didn't want to tell me about. Sorry for the desync, just popped up. Great. Oh, we love. So, but yeah, so I'm working on getting closer to a place where I can hike. Looks like your video is slow, and that may be causing the desync. Like the camera is moving at half speed to your capture, maybe FPS issue, and it's trying to compensate. I don't know, man. Like nothing on my end has actually changed. So I'm like, you know, like video, like, okay, well, it's set at a hard FPS value of 30. Like video is locked at 30 FPS. Like audio, like everything looks fine. I'm definitely gonna have to like watch 80 million fucking YouTube videos later because no one can type this up apparently. But whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that much. I'll figure it out later. I just keep getting distracted by thinking about like, oh, can I fix it somehow? It's not nearly as big of a deal as you think. We're just along for the ride, but I'm sorry, it's stressful. Well, it sucks because I can't show you guys anything. Like, I was like, oh, I'm going to show off my staff and the new ferrule that I got, and I'll show you my partner's wood rasp. I'm just bummed out, you know? I'm just bummed. Like, hold on, video delay. Streamlabs. It's a bit of drive, and you need a vehicle that can handle a rough road. But summertime, check out Susan Creek up in Washington. Is it Susan? You can show us stuff if you plan 20 minutes ahead. True. Absolutely. A forested hike along a river. God, that sounds amazing. So I kind of want to like be in nature constantly is something that I have realized now that I am living in a place that isn't the fucking worst when it comes to the weather. Like I want to be around the trees. I want to walk in the water. Susan. Okay. I recommend unplugging literally everything tonight before bed tonight. It will cover so many possible factors. That's a huge risk for me to take because sometimes my Go XLR just doesn't fucking work after I unplug it and plug it back in. My favorite hike of all time was the Cliff Dweller cave hike in Mesa Verde National Park, but that doesn't help you much in the PNW. I may have even done that hike. Was it the one where you'd go on the janky ass stairs and they've installed like a chain railing? Because I've been to Mesa Verde National Park like at least twice. My grandma lived near there. IDK, if it's a delay, it seems like what is displaying is going like exactly half speed. Okay. Thank you all for trying to help. Sometimes I find your help frustrating because it's like, okay, well, I don't know. I'm going to have to find like a bunch of different ways to type this in to get the solution. Like audio, video, severe desync, Streamlabs. I hate this so much. Go to the mixer tab, locate the audio source. It's not the audio source. It's the video. I'm gonna cry. Oh, Economist, have you done the Mesa Verde one? Yeah, so I kind of like, I want to just exist in nature constantly. You know, when we went to the beach, we took our shoes off and like walked. At least you all know, you know, we want to help. I know. It does help a little bit. Radio killed the video star. They probably have updated the stuff considerably since I did it. It was a rough hike and janky back when I did it, but I'm probably half your age. I mean, I did it when I was a kid. Like my grandma took me to Mesa Verde Park and it was great. Like I had a lot of fun. I was maybe like 10 or 11, I want to say. So it was a good 20 years ago. But we did the whole, we like had to walk along this janky staircase, and it was like clearly if you lived at the time that those dwellings were being used to live in, people would walk along these janky cliff stairs just like with no railing or anything. These really narrow stairs that were like carved into the cliff. And so when I went, they had installed like every once in a while there would be an iron rod stuck into the cliff, and then like a pretty sizable chain linking those together, and the chain was the rail. Basically, you would hold on to the chain. It was crazy, and it was neat because the Mesa Verde dwellings are like 4 stories high, or just about 4 stories high, and then there was also dwellings underneath the rock where like they, you know, there was one place where there was like a hole in the ground and there was a ladder and you could get down in there because like that's it. You would light a fire down there and be able to stay warm during the winter. And there's like a hole for the smoke to go out of. Very cool stuff. Oh, I'm so glad for you, Peacheek. Yeah, totally, Mira. What's your favorite plant and why? Oh, that's a great question, Locke. Well, I really like dandelions. I know that they're like not native here and possibly even invasive, but I love them a lot. And I really enjoy like the good that they do for the ecosystem, in the sense that it's an early bloomer. They're also incredibly healthy. You can eat every part of it. Oh, bye, Mosh. Have a good night. Yeah, Mesa Verde is in southwest Colorado. It's very near the Four Corners. Super, super, super cool stuff. Oh gosh, what else do I have going on that I wanted to talk about? Yes, I want to be outside all the time. I want to go hiking. I want to bicycle. Like, I'm sure that I had other things that I had on deck to talk about this week. I finally had the inspiration to work on my dragon video again, which was so nice because I rarely feel the urge to do that. But I have my workload kind of streamlined right now, where after the stream on Sunday this week, I actually did a huge, almost all of the editing that was required for the main video. And then Monday, I basically did my thumbnailing and I made 7 YouTube shorts out of that one video. And I did all of the work of getting all that shit figured out. And then yesterday I had like a lot more time because I had already posted everything. So I decided to go ahead and start working on my dragon video again. And then today I just feel like shit, so I got nothing accomplished before stream today. And then tomorrow I'll have Takis, and Friday will be another kind of technically a day off, I guess. And then of course Saturday is another kind of day off, but I have other stuff that I plan to do on Saturday because I'll actually have my car. And then we'll stream on Sunday again. And then like hopefully I can maintain that into next week and like forward. I will be able to go like, yeah, let me just get all the work done on Monday. And like having all this additional free time now that I have streamlined my workload has me going like, oh, what else could I be doing? You know, do I want to take some classes at the college? Like, do I want to even go full time with classes maybe at the college? Like, how would I go about that? I've spent a lot of time researching, like, especially last week, I spent like basically 3 solid days just like researching something that I was interested in and kind of looking into like, oh, are there any volunteer opportunities to do that? Or are there any programs? So I am definitely thinking about what are some other ways I could be spending my time. The trouble with a lot of free time is that I find it very difficult to not get stuck in that loop of like scrolling on Blue Sky or switching between like Blue Sky and Facebook and Instagram. I definitely don't have very good boundaries around that yet, and I'm still struggling to maintain that. Although I guess to be fair to myself, I am doing much better about keeping in contact with my friends. I'm trying to think like, I want it to occur to me like, oh, I should share this with my friend rather than just being like, hot, that's cool. Or like, hot, that's something that I'm thinking about now. Will your Sunday stream be from out in the forest? That would be great. I would love that. I don't know that I would have very good internet, but it's a great idea. I had dandelion wine once. Ooh, I have made myself dandelion tea. It was basically just tea, you know, but I would probably appreciate it better now since I have a little bit more of a palate for tea now. Local friends sounds nice. I don't yet have local friends, to be clear. I have like one person who I've made friends with through the garden, but every single time I talk to her, she tries to get me. She's like, oh, so my job is looking for people to fill some positions. And I'm like, I don't want to work for anyone right now. And I don't really want to work for you. Like, not for her, but I'm like, I don't really want to work at the company that you work at. So it's a little awkward that like that one person, the next time she brings it up, I'm going to have to be like, listen, I am just really turned off by the fact that you keep bringing this up. If I need a job, I will ask you about it. But like, I have completely different priorities right now. I used to make perfume with flowers. Ooh, I love that. Oh, my friend just got like she got like a microwave plate that you put flowers in and then like you microwave them in short bursts and it just basically creates like immediate dehydrated flowers because I think you put like a paper towel or something underneath them and then like it smashes them flat and you microwave them in 5 to 10 second bursts and it just creates like still very vibrant but immediately dehydrated flowers. It's so cool. Gotta find your local trans community spots. Chances are your local punks are queer AF and a scene you would be all about. Yeah, there is at least one event that I want to go to in the local community. It's not trans oriented, but I'm assuming that there will be at least one trans person there, you know? Oh yeah, there's plenty of universities throughout the Willamette Valley, you know? I've been looking into a few different ones. Dandelion is great with passion flower. It removes some of the bitterness and strengthens the mucus absorption. Dandelion tends to be bitter if you include the greens. So if you make like a tea with dandelion flower, you have to pull all of the petals out of the flower and get the green part out of there because that's where the bitterness comes. PCC Portland Community College. Solid courses, transferred fine. Okay. Nice. And compared to other community colleges, it's pretty good. Nice. Droning says, the Southwest is nice. I lived in Ranchos de Taos, New Mexico for quite a while growing up before my parents decided to move us back to Oklahoma and started forcing us to go to church. Ugh. I loved New Mexico. When we drove through there, it was so beautiful. And then like Arizona was beautiful too, but night fell while we were driving through Arizona. So like I literally drove past the Grand Canyon in the dark. Drea says Clackamas County is better than PCC. Or Clackamas Community. Yeah, that's funny. There's all kinds of community colleges here too. Like there's a Mount Hood Community College. Yeah, there's a bunch. There was one, I think, out on the coast. Can't remember where it was. So there's plenty of colleges. And I'm thinking about my younger sibling too, who needs to get their GED. And I'm like, okay, well, are there any, probably community colleges have GED programs where like you can take some class and then they'll kind of facilitate you taking the GED courses. And then of course it would be a great option for them if they were to, consider getting a 2-year degree, little associate's degree at the community college kind of thing. I got to talk library school when I was getting help today at the library I used to work at. It was so nice. Oh, cool. Dally, so there is a member of my Discord community, and Max is active in the chat sometimes, but since they live in Europe, it just doesn't always sync up. But they have kids. But Max is somebody I know in Europe who is getting a degree in library sciences. So that's at least 2 people I know who are interested in library sciences. I would definitely not recommend driving into the Grand Canyon in the dark. Yeah, no. But like it's just funny that we didn't plan to see it. We weren't like, "Oh yeah, let's stop and check out the Grand Canyon." So it was dark and we just drove on by. I guess we could have technically stopped at like a hotel right there and then gone like at the crack of dawn to see. But then that would have thrown off the next 2 days of driving. Everything sucks. Oh, someone else is complaining that their audio desyncs on stream when they're using the Elgato HD60S Plus, which is very similar to the webcam that I am using. Oh yeah, tourist price is probably quite expensive. Shakespeare says, I know a librarian with a librarian degree. I got him to try weed for the first time. Dude said it didn't really affect him, but he was perched on the arm of the couch like a bird reciting poetry. Wow. That's fun. That's exciting. Oh yeah, it's hard when you can only do like 1 course per semester. That's a bummer. The neatest part of the Southwest is if you find the right area, it's full of old hippies, artists, and lesbians who weave Navajo rugs. Yeah. And like, I know that New Mexico has positioned itself as a trans safe state. Ty Turner moved there specifically because it was, gonna be safe and also like closer to where they already were from and like culturally the kind of stuff that they wanted to do. I wouldn't do New Mexico just because I think that it's going to become like unlivable there, or we're going to continue having to pump water out of the Colorado River to account for the fact that there is no water down there. So that's kind of, a little bit of a barrier, obviously. But I was thinking like 20, 30 years in the long term. And I know some other people are just like not really considering that. Like even Kansas, there are going to be like probably a couple months of the year where you can't safely go outside for longer than like 15 to 20 minutes in like the middle of the day in the summer. Librarians are ridiculously knowledgeable. I mean, I guess if you have a job where you probably have a good amount of downtime and you're just surrounded by books, I would read all day. I was just telling my younger sibling about how, when I was a kid, I would do the summer reading program at the public library, which of course was like read as many books as you can in a certain time frame or whatever. Um, and I loved that. Like that was my favorite part of the summer, kind of, was just reading a shit ton. And so yeah, I think if I was in a situation where I had a lot of opportunity to just read and it wasn't like taking away time from other things that I should be doing, I would definitely read more. I have been reading short stories by Ursula Le Guin, and it's really slow to get through because each story is like well written and impactful in a way that, like, when I finish a short story, I have to put the book down and let my brain kind of update a little bit, which is why it's taken me forever. All I wanted was to read The Child of Omilas, and now I have read like 10 Ursula Le Guin stories. It's kind of throwing a little bit of a wrench in my like reading 12 books this year thing. I might have to talk to another streamer who uses Streamlabs to figure this out, because Google is like insanely unhelpful. Dude, okay, I know that it's like, again, super controversial to use ChatGPT, but like it's literally fucking more useful than Google sometimes. Genuinely, just because Google has repeatedly borked itself. So if I ask ChatGPT something, I'm like, can you tell me any information about this subject and give me some links? And it's like collating links, and I can click out to the website, and it's literally providing better, fucking more accurate results than Google. It's insanely frustrating. Nice, Mira. Reading Kate Daniels series by Ilona Andrews. Librarians are basically like research scientists. They can listen to your research question and give tips based on what data is available. At least the ones here on campus can do that. That's fucking amazing. I'm so glad you discovered Ursula Le Guin. She is a pioneer and often overlooked. Yeah, it was specifically The Child of Omilas, and like it was Hello Future Me, I believe. His name is Tim, the New Zealand writer who has the YouTube channel. It was Hello Future Me talking about, I think, dystopia. So yeah, it has been quite interesting to read her books, or her short stories, I guess. The problem with GPT is you're on the menu if it's free, saved. What do you mean? Like I always assume that anything I tell it is being saved, which is, I will correct it. Someone could control F your prior chats. Oh, really? Interesting. I do delete a lot of my prior chats, though. If I'm like not using it anymore, I will go ahead and delete them. So maybe I should be more thorough and go back and delete them. See, I didn't realize that like my chats could actually be searched. And is that like any user could do that? But like I do offer corrections to ChatGPT so that it can learn things. I'm like, oh, I had it like help me craft a workout routine, and one of the things was like shoulder press burnout. And I was like, can you explain what shoulder press burnout is? And it said like, oh yeah, well, it's something you do typically at the end of the exercise. And I was like, okay, well, you put it at the beginning of the exercise routine. And it was like, oh, my bad. Okay, you're right. I'll change that. So I have been correcting it, assuming that it does incorporate those corrections in how it then goes on to answer other user queries. But I guess I didn't know to what extent those are actually accessible by other users. That's interesting. I feel like $20 a month is very expensive for something that is destroying the environment every time I use it. I feel like I can't take much of a break in talking because then people might be like, oh my God, are you there? What is happening? There's no audio. Re. Ooh, someone else has had a similar issue to me. Audio progressively desyncing. When the stream first starts, they are synced, and as time goes on, they get further and further out of sync. Does anyone have any experience with this issue? Okay, so there are some... Okay, capture card hardware issues are the typical causes of audio desyncing over time. The capture card. But I'm not using a capture card, so fucking what? Oh, man. All right. I'll end up having to submit a ticket probably to Streamlabs and be like, hey, nothing about my setup has changed. What is wrong with your fucking program? If you've existed on the internet long enough, then part of you lives somewhere in ChatGPT, whether you like it or not. Yeah, but I mean, it's like, I think it's one thing if I'm like, hey, ChatGPT, do you know about the YouTuber Luxander? Can you provide a summary of the content they created on YouTube? And like, that's publicly available information. I don't really have a problem with that, but like, I would consider it objectionable if people were able to actually like view the things that I have said to ChatGPT beyond like, oh, a user corrected us on this, and that's why we have changed the result that people get when they search for such and such through the program. Those are just slightly different things. But yeah, it's like I find that ChatGPT is pretty useful. It's more accurate than Google in a lot of ways. And like, obviously I don't use it constantly. I don't use it every day. I try to be like, you know, deliberate. I'm more deliberate with how I use ChatGPT than I am with how I use Blue Sky, for example. Suddenly, there are 42 viewers in here. I'm sorry for the desync. I am running into trouble with Streamlabs, but I still wanted to sit here and chat with you for a little while. So thank you for being patient. Used to think that librarians just stock books. Yeah, but like, what else do they do all day? They're fucking magicians. I love libraries so much. I don't like the idea that apartheid Clyde trained Grok on my entire Twitter history, but it still happened. Yeah. Again, I'm like, if it's publicly available information, I don't really have a problem with that. If it's publicly available and like not copyrighted or is like not obviously someone's personal intellectual property. But it's kind of always been the case that like if you tweet something, Twitter can use that for advertisement or whatever, you know. I did go through and I did the like deleting all of my tweets from before the previous year, as things continued to go down the drain on Twitter. So I deleted all my posts from like more than a year ago. But I mean, it was a few months ago now that I did that, but it was like all of it too. It was all of my tweets, all of my replies, like my entire account history for like 7 or 8 years. I was like, delete, getting rid of it. Video audio sync drift. Nope, that's not the same. Okay. Yeah, I'm basically just going to have to report this to whatever. I did too, but I don't believe that it hadn't already been used. Yeah, no, that's fair, Droning Goddess. Totally. I like it when people repeat me. I consider myself a social virus. True. I kind of wonder, like, if I don't know, if I'm trying to like figure out what program, like for my younger sibling, if I want to help them figure out like what program to go in college, could a general public librarian help with that? Because I'm thinking, otherwise you might have to like contact the admissions for like every college and be like, you know, when people hire in this field, what are they looking for from their qualified candidates? And like what course load would equip me and make me most desirable for someone in that field? And or like what are some jobs that are predicted to be growing in the future versus jobs that there might not be as many jobs ready for me when I graduate in 4 years? I assume that that's like what a guidance counselor should be for. Let me just go to the library and be like, hey, librarian, will you be a guidance counselor for me, please? Ugh. Oh man, today, oh my God, I recently have been craving tuna salad. I know that sounds probably like an insane person thing to say, but I was really looking forward to, I just like really was craving some tuna salad. So this morning I finally made some. I just took a pouch of tuna, a little bit of mayo, and just dumped some dill pickle juice in there. And oh my God, it was exactly what I wanted. It was perfect. I just ate it out of the bowl. I was like, am I going to put this on bread? No, I'm just going to eat it out of the bowl. It was delicious and I loved it. Yummy, 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 yummy. And then I had potato chips and then I had pizza rolls. And then tonight, my younger sibling is cooking meatloaf. So meatloaf is going to be good. Oh, and I also just got a meat thermometer. The intention was to use it. So, okay, to be clear, I already had a meat thermometer that was the kind that's just like a the stabbing part, and it's connected to a little dial thing, and it's all really self-contained and small. So you have to physically hold it with your hand and insert it into the food to get the temperature, and you can't leave it in there in the oven, right? But I was like, okay, I really want to reverse sear some steaks. It really is like we haven't had steak in a while, and I have a little bit of a chef kind of approach to some things. Like I want things to be done in a specific way. I do also do a lot of like quick midweek cooking stuff. But when I decide I'm going to do something the right way, boy howdy, I'm going to do it the right way. So that's why I'll stand there for an hour at the stove cooking a curry from scratch, like onions, making my own spice blend, putting everything like I'll do it for an hour. I'll stand there and do it. Sometimes it's more like, most of the time it's more like, hey, let's get this quickly. Let's get this done quickly. And so for some steak, like I am of the opinion that the reverse sear is the correct way to make a steak. And so what you do is you put it in the oven at a pretty low temperature and you let it, well, first of all, you have to leave it out and let it get to room temperature before you put it in the oven. You heavily salt it, let it get to room temperature, then you pop it in the oven at the low temp, and you let it get to a certain temperature, depending on how you want the steak to be finished. And then you pull it out. You get your stove, ideally a cast iron pan, like super duper hot, and you sear it. And then it'll reach the appropriate temperature just based on the sear time. And maybe a little baste if you want to do a little baste at that point. But so to do that and not lose all the juices in the steak, then that's what the meat thermometer is for. So I got one of those ones that you stick it into the meat or the food or whatever, and then it has like a metal cord, and that's connected to a digital thermometer that is outside the oven. And also, this is gonna be useful for Thanksgiving too. If I do a turkey at Thanksgiving or any kind of bird or whatever, making sure you get the correct temperature. Very excited about that. So we're gonna try it out tonight on the meatloaf, I think, and then the plan is to get some steaks and at some point do a steak night, which I don't do super often. We don't really eat a lot of red meat anymore. I've kind of phased out a lot of the red meat. We still eat pork, but I'm just like trying not to eat a lot of beef. It's expensive and, you know, not healthy. The correct way to make a steak is sous vide, then sear. Functionally, you're saying the same thing as me, Mira. I just don't have a sous vide, and I don't think it's reasonable to get a sous vide if I have an oven already. I have a Bluetooth thermometer like that. I set it to alarm my phone when it hits a certain temp. Oh, nice. So a school counselor is supposed to help with career counseling. However, social services can also help. Banks will do financial career building with you if you ask. Generally, if you have an idea of a direction, I would recommend practicing the art of asking and just contact a professional in a given field, and most people will gladly share their advice or even apprentice or tutor you. That's great advice, Noah. I was basically considering, you know, with I'm kind of in a little cocoon. I'm entering my 30s and I'm really thinking like, how do I want to spend the rest of my life? And career is part of that. So I was thinking what I should do is I should volunteer doing the thing that I think I want to do. And via doing that, I will meet people who are professionals in the field, and they can tell me like, oh, you know, we're really going to need some people doing this in the next 5 years because, you know, we have a bunch of kind of older people who are about to retire or whatever. Or like, oh, I went to this school and did this program. Or lately we've been hiring a lot of people out of this program. Of course, yeah, like asking people in the field is it's definitely something I'm considering. I'm going to go to an event soon that is going to be like a teaching you how to identify local plants, like native plants. I also have like the books that I have this, of course, I'm picking it up and I'm not going to be able to show you because it's going to be on a 20-minute delay. But, you know, Viren got me this Pacific Northwest foraging books, and I was talking to my friend Dizzy, and they were like, oh, here's a couple of things that you definitely want to learn to identify because they're delicious. So, yeah, that's, you know, I'm kind of trying to get out there and expose myself to like more people and everything. Because, yeah, there's nobody that will be able to give you better advice than someone who's in the field and can see, you know, those kind of things of coming up. Like, yeah, our jobs in this area going to expand over the next 5 years, or are we expecting that there are too many people? Like basically, you should not get a graphic design degree, and that's been true for a long time because graphic design is a field with way too many applicants in it. Like, there are too many people who thought, oh, I want to be an artist. Let me go ahead and get a degree in graphic design. It is completely unreasonable at this time to get a graphic design degree and try to go into that field. It is a completely oversaturated market. I once spent 5 hours making spaghetti lasagna from scratch. Holy shit. For your 2-month anniversary? Oh my God, Mira. That's how I know you're queer. I don't actually know if you're queer. I'm teasing. I'm sorry if that was inaccurate. I'm imagining that you're a lesbian, though, because of your name and that behavior. If nothing else, there's always foot to pavement. Just show up where you want to work and see what they tell you. For me right now, there is a little bit of like, I still need to narrow down exactly what I think I want to do, and what I think I want to do may require a 4-year degree. So that's just kind of, again, I'm not ready to get into any of the details of it. I'm just kind of speaking generally. Oh, that's neat. Mira says my engineering program requires us to get one-on-one advising from a faculty advisor before we are allowed to enroll above a certain level of courses. Oh, so someone above and beyond the normal academic advisor. You like have to talk to someone about like what it is actually like in the field before, and by in the field I mean just like in that kind of job, before you can pursue it in a longer term thing. That's great, because like honestly, if I had spent more time talking to electricians before I decided to pursue an electrical technology degree, I probably would have realized that that was not the right direction for me to go. If I had spent even a little bit of time like apprenticing, because the thing that bothered me so much about electrical work was like, first of all, the physical demands. It was beyond my capability. But also, I worked with some people who were like, oh yeah, well, it doesn't really matter. And I'm like, yeah, well, except that it's code. And so it does matter, like how I install this. I can't just do things like slapdash. That doesn't, I felt like I would be personally responsible, even though I would literally not be personally responsible. That's the whole point of being an apprentice, is that the master that you're working with takes liability from you. 4 years is spendy. Yeah, it can be if there's not financial help. So that's another thing too, is like if I were to pursue something, having to go in and like figure out, are there any grants or scholarships? Can I get any, like, I'm a minority, please give me money for school. My husband makes pretty decent money, and so, frankly, it would probably be easier if I wasn't married to get these things, but having someone who makes decent money and can support me, obviously, people are going to say, look, you don't need as much financial aid or whatever. So I'm going to be having to figure that out too. I'm one of those people with lots of useless degrees, so I know a lot about how to not make money. Totally, Noah. Totally. Philosophy degrees make pretty good placemats if you laminate them. Totally, yeah. Yeah, I bet it would make a really wonderful, oh God, what am I trying to say? A really wonderful, like, stained glass. You just put it in the window and let light shine through it, basically, is what I'm trying to suggest. Throwing stuff on the floor by accident. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to submit a ticket to Streamlabs and be like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Technical issue. I am really interested in philosophy, but I'm like, what would you even do with a philosophy degree? You would have to teach. When I was considering doing college back when I was like 18, 19, 20, I turned 18, I immediately got a horrendous shitty job. And I was considering going to school for like sociology, because of course, I was interested in trans things and the politics of this, and like ultimately that is what I do on my channel. When I'm doing all this politics stuff, it's all sociology. We talk about the, we zoom in and we see like, oh, this one interpersonal relationship, and here's how this played out. And then we zoom out and we say, okay, now that's contextualizing that one interaction because it has all of these other implications and everything. So like that fundamentally is what sociology is. And like, oh, how is this particular thing related to this other thing in a societal sense? And like, how can we study interpersonal dynamics and have that reflect whatever about society? So it kind of feeds back and forth. You know, you can study society and see how it impacts people, and you can study people and see how that impacts society. But the only jobs that I would have in sociology would have been research, like talking to people and setting up experiments, or teaching. And I did not want to do either of those things, which is why I did not go to school and get a shitty, useless degree in sociology. If you want to see some funny faces, put Gothic prose expert with additional specialization in gender theory on your resume. Fascinating. Love that. Oh, Mira, that's so exciting. Been designing and building my own robot since early December to carry my books on campus and follow me around. That's so cool. Apparently, philosophy grads are often employed as business strategists because they can think outside the box. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Some of that philosophy you talk about are also intersectional with anthropology and sociology. I mean, I assume, like, I kind of think that... Hold on, let me grab my hair tie off the floor. I just threw it on the floor. You know, the kinds of philosophical things that I'm interested in often do overlap with sociology. But I think that that's just like... Because philosophy... I don't know. How would you guys describe philosophy as a field? Like, what is philosophy? Is it the pursuit of meaning? Like, how do we define fundamentally what philosophy is, do you think? I feel like degrees are like rolling dice anymore. You might get a good job or you might be flipping burgers still with bonus debt. Totally. It depends on what it is in, right? And obviously, like, a 4-year degree could open you up to getting promotions within the field that, you know, you might not be able to get if you didn't have that. So again, yeah, I think the best thing for me to do would be to talk to someone in the field. Philosophy is the study of thinking, the study of studying and thinking. Sociology grads also get targeted for various office and sales jobs, especially when working with people in different countries and classes in society, like my friend who orders produce imports. Ooh, okay, that's kind of interesting. People with acting degrees end up in hospitality and communications work. Yeah. Noah says there are lots of tricks, like 90% of music majors applying get into med school, but less than 30% of pre-med students. What? Wait, what? You're telling me that I could go to pre-med and learn all of the prerequisites that I need to know, and that I can't get into med school, but a fucking music major could? Dude, I would fucking burn a building down. If that happened to me, oh my god, I would lose my shit. Actually, I think I would go ape shit. Economist says, that was one reason I picked econ in grad school. My undergrad is political science and international studies. All econ PhD programs are funded, so I skipped the master's. I did fail out, but they give you a master's if you fail at the PhD. So I got a free master's, then go back for PhD programs, got higher placement because the master's from failed PhD program is valued higher than a regular master's. What? Oh, that's crazy. I'm glad that worked out for you. Med school doesn't care what you learned in undergrad. Dude, I would genuinely I would. This is why people become school shooters. I'm joking. That's a joke. That's crazy though, that you could go to pre-med and they would just be like, I don't care. One of my professors called philosophy the knowledge of the knowledge of knowledge and the pursuit of truth. Okay, fascinating. Because I'm like interested in things that are labeled philosophy. Like, right, obviously, like I watch philosophy too, but I'm very interested in a lot of the things she has to say. And it kind of seems like you can apply philosophy to anything. Like any situation is philosophical. And, or maybe it's just that like politics is inherently philosophical. Like political ideologies are based on philosophical frameworks, such as suffering should be minimized, or like whatever. Is like, you know, I think this is why so often when you're watching videos about the Hunger Games, like if you go and watch any video essays about the Hunger Games, you will see that often not only do we talk about political issues like just war theory, but we also end up talking about fucking Thomas Hobbes and Jean-Paul Sartre, like these philosophers who believed that the fundamental human nature was that of like an aggressive animal in competition with another. And so it's interesting because I do think that philosophy, however we choose to define that, does heavily impact other areas of life like politics and sociology. I did not plan to fail that program. I just wasn't ready for all the math. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of math in a long time, and that is the kind of thing that I might be concerned about if math was required for any degree I was seeking. I am a double major in poetry and accounting. True. Okay, Droning Goddess asserts, considering the correlation between musical ability, math ability, and applied logic, I could see statistically music majors going into a lot of different high-level graduate programs. Sure, yeah. That's interesting. I did not know, I guess, about those correlations. That's so interesting. Saved like $100,000 for a master's. Fucking high five. High five. Oh man. Lemon water is so good. It's delicious. What webcam is this? I can't even remember what webcam I am using. Elgato Facecam. I think it's the Elgato 60S. No, that's not what this is. What the fuck is this? Elgato webcam. You don't need college to teach college? Wait, hold on. Shakespeare says, I graduated high school 2 years late, super duper senior, but then went on immediately to teach college students as an outdoor educator. I worked with 13 Minnesota colleges. You don't need college to teach college. What the fuck? How did you do that? That's wild. Outdoor educator. Wow, that's amazing. Music major is also like 140 credits and pre-med is like 20 some. Oh, is pre-med just like a certification program? Pre-med, so pre-med is like a 1 semester thing or maybe 2 semesters, whereas like a music so you're saying like a music as in someone who went to 4 years of school, because 140 credits is 4 years of school at least. And but pre-med, if pre-med is only 20 credit hours, then that's like almost less school than what I did when I got my certificate in electrical technology. You can teach anywhere if you majored in having money. Fucking true. Oh no. Oh no. Eric says, before he was famous, my friend dragged me to sit in a Jordan Peterson lecture at U of T. Was wild watching a professor say nothing and run in circles, but still have a cult of personality to that degree. Oh, wow. You got to see Peterson before he became a crazy person. Excuse me. Or I guess he was still a crazy person. He just wasn't as popular. Hello, YS Project. Welcome in. I'm sorry, everybody, for the desync. Pre-med is a science and biology focus. But yeah, what I'm asking is like, is it basically just a certification program? Because of course that's less valuable than a 4-year degree. Like, yeah, okay, I can see. Okay, I was assuming that pre-med was a 4-year degree. Ugh. But if it's only 20 credit hours, yeah, that's totally different. Ugh. Pop my neck. Econ is ridiculous, even more than other STEM fields. The engineer PhDs I lived with in California never had to study. Econ has these exams, qualifying exams. Most fields have 1 round and econ has 2. I would never go for econ, but, you know, I'm aware that the economy is going to collapse soon, so of course it doesn't. It's just like, what? That's not a good degree for me. Pre-med is like a subclass to a biology major. Okay, interesting. I was very poor even teaching college kids. Still am very poor. Yeah, no, of course. What kind of webcam is this even? Elgato Facecam 1080p 60. Yeah, but like, what is it called? Okay, actual Elgato website? Can you tell me what products you have? Okay, what is the camera? Okay, it's like Facecam MK2. Okay, cool. All right, I'm in the process of like putting together what I need to say to Streamlabs to be like, hey, what the fuck is wrong with your program? Enjoy your economic collapse. I won't have to worry about that down in El Salvador. No. Oh my gosh. I know I've seen some people suggesting that they would rather go down in a firefight than be taken to El Salvador. And I just got to say, I completely understand where those people are coming from. Like, if you know that anytime you get arrested, you could just end up in El Salvador in a concentration camp with no oversight or, like, potentially no way to get home, like, yeah, I would maybe rather die. Like, I don't know that would be, I don't know, like, how would you get through that? I don't know. Plenty of people made it through the original concentration camps in Auschwitz and all that, so it's not like it's completely hopeless. But I completely understand when people are like, you know, we're gonna throw down, actually, rather than you just take me. It definitely does create a sense of urgency, like, you want to leave the country now, right? Like, yeah, let's leave the country now. But I want to dig deep. I want to, like, I feel so stubborn, you know? I want to stay here. I like it here a lot. I don't want to move to Canada. YBE says there are like no American economists. They all fail out and most of them never try again. All of my classmates are Chinese. Then they return to China. They have good jobs there for economists. Like, it's so silly because you're sitting here saying like economists in America have a hard time finding a job, but then somebody else was saying earlier that like if you get a job in sociology, you could get hired by firms who are doing things, and like you're being hired for an economic job basically. Stubborn can be a good thing if directed well. Yeah. I just want to live a good life. Like that's all that's the bullshit about this. And like I know that this is like explicitly not our politics stream, but it's so I just want to chill and do my own thing. That's all I want. I want to pay my fucking taxes. I want to go to public parks. I want to have a good job. I want to contribute to society. I want to have friends. Like that's all I want. And I'm like worried as a trans person that I'm going to lose the ability to do those things just because the government doesn't like me. You know, like I don't like them either, but like I'm not doing anything about it. I'm just sitting here complaining. I'm, the age old American tradition of bitching about stuff. Like George Carlin, one of our fucking most beloved. Dancing is my rebellion. That's awesome, Shakespeare. I'll be sticking it out here in MN. I produce underground queer dance parties and will be providing joy to our community until they kick down the doors and carry us away. Hell yeah. If you are being disappeared, you want to go out swinging so that you injure someone because then you might go to regular jail and get some due process. Oh, man. Dude, like, okay, you guys know that video that's going around right now of the agent smashing into a car with is it a sledgehammer or was it an axe? I think maybe it was an axe. But this dude is like destroying the window of the car to get into the car. And I was just sitting watching it like, this is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Like, shit's gonna fucking blow up if this is like how the government is gonna, like, there are more guns than people in this country. Don't catch you slipping now, dude. Like, what? I don't understand how there hasn't already been like an ICE agent seriously injured at this point, Was gonna do a sign making meetup for upcoming protests, but I think I'm gonna stay back and write for a while. Yeah, I've never really been a person who wants to go to protests. I have been to a protest before, and I helped de-escalate events at that protest. I stopped a couple of teenagers from jumping someone who was antagonizing us at the protest. Like, I personally have helped facilitate those things. And it's just like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do those things, especially now that I understand my disabilities better. I'm just going to stop speaking English if I see, yeah, just like, pendejo para la migra, chinga amiga. Yeah, like, I can't even. I'm like frothing at the mouth, Yeah, Mira says, I just want to live as the me I'm meant to be, openly, freely, without persecution. Why is that treated like it's too much to ask? Yeah, exactly. This is like the problem with authoritarian governments is like, yeah, all we want, like, I don't want to like throw, okay, you know how Josh Shapiro, so Josh Shapiro is like a state governor, and I can't remember what state it is, but he's Jewish, and someone threw a Molotov cocktail through the window of his house, during the Cedar. So, like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to throw Molotov cocktails in the windows of Jewish governors. Like, that's not what I want to do. I just want to go be in the woods. I just want to go hiking. It should, like, people should be able to do those things. And it's crazy to be worried. Noah says, having been arrested before, I should warn that I am not good at it. I try to comply, but you will not know what to do with me, and it will take your whole day. Yeah, the Molotov at his house while they were sleeping. It's crazy. Like, I'm just trying to chill. I'm just trying to grill. That's all I want. But it's too much to ask for, I guess. Dude, I do not remember. No, it was Josh Shapiro because it was a governor. Ben Shapiro is not a governor of anything. So, bro, I don't even remember what my username is on Streamlabs in order to submit this ticket. Okay, well, at least I can upload a diagnostic report directly. As a trans lady in Oklahoma, I've been afraid of my state for a while now, but now I'm just kind of low-key terrified all the time. Totally. Yeah, like I was hoping that when I moved I would feel safer. And like I at least feel like if something bad happened, my governor would come out swinging for me. You know, I feel like the attorney general here would come out swinging for me. I'm not like worried about the attorney general of the state that I currently live in having my name on a list because I'm trans. I'm worried about Chris Kobach having my name on a list because I'm trans. The attorney general in Kansas. Hey, buddy, do you want to come over here? Hey, baby. Yeah, come over here. Yeah. I can't show you the cat because he's. But yeah, yeah, not safe for us anywhere, even in safe states. Community and bringing as many of us together as possible is more important than ever. Totally. Yeah, and Shakespeare, of course, has that perspective of like, being in Minnesota, which is a sanctuary state, but knowing at least 2 trans women who have been murdered in the last couple of years, like since the declaration that it's a safe state. And there are Proud Boys in Portland, you know, like we do have people with MAGA hats up here and stuff. It's not totally safe. Yeah, Shapiro is a pretty common Jewish last name. They are not related, at least not directly related, Ben Shapiro and Josh Shapiro. Don't answer the door if you don't know who it is. I never answer the door. Genuinely, I am never going to answer the door. I do not answer the door. I like continue doing what I'm doing and like I also am okay, so here's the level to which I think about these things. I also don't immediately walk over and like look through the keyhole because you know, a lot the peephole that you have on the door, because someone on the other side might not be able to see any details of through the peephole, but they can see when the shadow comes over it when you move your face over it. So sometimes I'll like hang something on my front door so that I can peek out, you know, without and like so there's already a shadow around the peephole. My governor is Mike Brown. I like to tell him what kinds of cancer I hope he gets. Oh, Noah. Shakespeare says, I experienced something that I hope the judge agrees is a hate crime last year, 2 weeks after my friend was murdered. I do get to seek justice. I got a specific fight for our protections to focus on. Yeah. Being like, okay, at least if you get hate crime, do you know that the governor is on your side? You have Tim Walz. He's still the governor there, right? Like, you at least know that the powers that be will go to bat for you in court. Oh, I'm sorry, Mira. That sucks. I know you were excited to potentially get that wig in. Having my name on a list because I'm trans, that sounds very familiar as a trans Texan. Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's so bad in Texas. My heart goes out. I know several trans people in Texas, and it just is so crushing. The AG office is aware of my case. Good. I'm so glad, Shakespeare. I'm so happy for you. I use Ring camera so that I don't have to move inside if someone is at the door. I've heard that Ring cameras are like extremely easy to exploit. So I hesitate to get a Ring camera, although I like the idea of having one. So I actually think what is fairly effective, more effective than you would think, is just having a sign on your door that says, smile, you're on camera. Even if you don't actually have a camera, especially if you don't actually have a camera visible, I think that freaks people out. They're like, oh man, what do you mean I'm on camera? I don't see a camera. That's scary, you know? Mike Lindell running for Minnesota governor. Eat shit. Let Tim Walz run his shit. Ring also hands footage to the cops. Okay, yeah. See, yeah, I knew that there were issues with it. I live in Atlanta. I can't mess with these cops hearing me. True. I hope that you can get that, Mira. That sucks. Like the VA canceling trans healthcare, and then like Mira got a wig prescribed to her and through the VA, and they canceled the order. Stupid bullshit. The only people who come to my door is the cops, and AT&T also sends the details to the cops. Really? Okay. I believe there are other brands of door cams that are more secure. Also, other CCTV systems that don't upload the stuff online and only have local storage. Yeah. YBE says, if you're at the point when the cops are seizing your items and writing warrants, your Ring camera is the last thing you're going to need to be worried about. Okay, fair. You know, totally fair. Drea has some hot advice saying, if you do happen to need to answer the door, always keep a door stopper right in front of it so that said door can only open a couple inches. Do not use your foot. It can break if someone rams the door. Nice. Droning Goddess says, the political shift has made me basically unemployable here, and I definitely wish I had realized it quick enough to just grab my savings and run, but I'm honestly not sure even a sanctuary state is safe enough at this point, and I have no savings left to flee with anyway. I will say safer is still better. Like, even if you cannot guarantee safety in any case, you know, like you can have safety in the legal system, but still get murdered. You can have a place with really low violence, but still have like lack of access to healthcare. You know, every place is going to have its ups and its downs. I think it's about being in a place where things are just relatively better or have a chance to get even better than they are. You know, like, I mean, Oregon does all kinds of stuff. Like Oregon, it's like, wow, this is what it's like to live in a place with a functional government, because they're trying to pass a law right now that would make it illegal to make deep fakes of someone in porn. So like it would be illegal in the same way that disseminating actual photos or videos of that person would be illegal. So it's like, wow, a functional fucking government. They're also passing laws, which is, I don't know exactly how I feel about this one, but they're trying to pass something that is like going to make it to where it's not legal to pack a foster child's belongings in a trash bag, which I'm really not sure how they're going to handle that, because I think a lot of the times when a kid enters the foster system, they enter the foster system with a trash bag of belongings. I guess the idea is that like the foster family would have to provide them with a suitcase or something, or a backpack maybe. But it's like, clearly, regardless of whether you agree with the specifics of like, okay, do we really need to make it illegal to send a kid to a foster home or between foster homes with a trash bag full of belongings? Like, you know, the underlying premise is it is an indignity, that it decreases their dignity, and it makes them feel like their belongings are trash and their whole life is trash, is the idea. And, you know, we can argue about whether that really is something that needs to happen, but this is what it's like living in a place with a government that actually gives a shit about what happens to people. Fucking crazy. Yeah, Gordon Ramsay voice. Finally, some fucking functioning government. Oh, that's great. YS says, the person who groomed me after I became disabled in high school has been sentenced. Nice. I'm so glad that they've been sentenced. Mira has gotten back into speech therapy. Hell yeah. That shit drives me wildly insane. The trash bag situation actually does mess the kids' mentality a lot. It should absolutely be banned, and getting kids bags should be a government cost. Okay, totally. I'm so glad that you have a strong opinion on that, Eric. That helps elucidate for me, because I kind of saw that and was like, maybe that's a little bit silly. Shakespeare says, safer is better. Roll with your friends. Avoid metro transit at night. Totally. I would never get on a bus after dark. Oh my God. age discrimination because do we treat adults like that? Oh, what do you mean, the trash bags thing? Because I mean, obviously, you don't really have situations where adults are being moved around to the custody of this person and then the custody of another person, or maybe you're referring to something else. If I make deepfake porn of myself using AI, could I then sue the hosting site for posting it? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, gosh. I'm gonna have to submit fucking information about my computer and everything. If everything you have to your name is symbolically trash, what does that make you think about yourself? Yeah, totally, totally. I can see it. Yeah. You're such a good buddy. You're my friend. Oh, yeah? You having a good time? He's used to ignoring me talking because I sit here and talk during stream. Hi, I am looking at you. Yeah. Yeah. You're so good. I love you so much. You're so pretty. He's been very licky recently. He's been licking me a lot. Trash bag feels very demeaning, like you are not worth having your things properly packed up at minimum. So again, like, I've seen videos before from foster parents, and a lot of the times they receive their kids with a trash bag full of belongings. And honestly, I think that a lot of times, like, the kids who are being taken away from their parents are often from low economic situations. So, and also sometimes these things are happening very quickly. So the parents, only have a few minutes. And so they just grab a trash bag and put some of the kids' clothes and some of their favorite toys, maybe, like, family separation is traumatic for everyone involved. And sometimes you don't have much time. So, like, I understand why the situation comes up where you end up with a trash bag full of belongings. But I just thought it was interesting. Like, this is, I can't imagine, it's all these red states always talk about how much they care about child welfare, and they do, and what they do is they decide, like, oh, what we're going to do is we're going to fucking take away youth access to healthcare. Like, I'm pretty sure after I moved out of the state, Kansas recently passed, like, a nobody under the age of 18 or 19 can get gender affirming care. It's like, that's the kind of stuff that people in fucking Kansas do when they're allegedly caring for children. But here in Oregon, they're like, yeah, no, we care about the dignity of kids in foster care. And, like, we want to make sure we're not adding to the trauma of being removed from your family, because that is traumatic regardless of what the situation is. Even if it is overtly abusive, it's still traumatic to be separated from your family. Okay. Noah says, I saw a documentary once about Ron Jeremy. He was known to eat a whole cake by himself and use plastic bags for his luggage when flying. Yeah, let me just have unsecured luggage. Sounds great. Dude, I swear to God, if this is happening because my graphics drivers needed updated, I don't think they did. Yeah, my software is up to date. Oh my God. All right, whatever. I am going to have to submit a whole ticket for this and hope that it gets solved by Sunday. Otherwise, I'm not streaming Sunday, and I'll record a short video to post in the week instead, because, God. My hair is so long and so pretty. I'm sorry that you can't see the playing with my hair that I'm doing right now. So sad. I forgot what state. Oh, I think it was Ohio, actually. It was the appeals court in the state of Ohio that said that you can't make gender affirming care illegal because they passed a law. We covered this specifically. that the state of Ohio passed a law to try to counteract the ACA that basically said that the government cannot interfere in your health care or health insurance. And that law is now being understood in the Ohio Appeals Court to say, like, that means that you can't infringe on gender affirming care, which is hilarious. It's like a Republican law in the first place. Excuse me. Excuse me. So yeah, that was pretty hilarious. Pretty funny. Yeah, Ohio 10th District Court. Hilarious. What's up, Ember? Montana courts keep saying the same thing. Yeah, I don't know why that's ever. I mean, of course I do know it's fascism, but you know, if we live in a country where you're ostensibly supposed to have freedom, then like, why is the government able to get in between me and my health care? That's fucking bullshit. Pam Bondi gave some insane anti-trans speech today about imaginary issues in Maine. Nice. That's always cool. I don't like her at all, obviously. I kind of try to ignore anything with Pam Bondi in the room because I think she's just a really stupid person. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why are you the worst person? Okay, y'all, we're getting close to that 6 o'clock mark. I have been enjoying the chat, but you know, obviously, I would like to try to troubleshoot this issue a little bit and send a support ticket to Streamlabs and let them contact me. So thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate your patience. I'm sorry that it's been fucked up the entire time. But yeah, government small enough to fit in an exam room with you and your doctor. Hilarious. All right, so appreciate y'all hanging out. I'm going to try to have everything figured out by Sunday. The plan is still to stream Sunday. If you want to see me tomorrow during Transatlantic Call-In Show, you know what time it is. You can see me at 12 Pacific time, 2 p.m. Central time. And I'm on with Dr. Ben tomorrow. And actually, Jimmy is going to be hosting the show, producing the show. Not hosting, producing. So we'll be on with Jimmy instead of Arden.